Dr. Parmesh sir, he doesn't require an introduction as he is a well-recognized personality by himself. He is known for his wonderful administration and high achievements of the institution he is in charge of. Apart from this, he is a philanthropist and renders selfless services to the society. He has molded the life of many students and served people of community with his kindness.
ಪರಮೇಶ್ವರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ಥಿತಪ್ರಜ್ಞ, ಕಾರ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ತಜ್ಞ, ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಪಾಯಿ, ಶಿಸ್ತಿನ ಗವಾಯಿ, ಮೃದು ಸ್ವಭಾವ, ಪ್ರೀತಿಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಭಾವ, ನೇರ ನುಡಿ, ನಡೆದಂತೆ ನಡೆ, ನುಡಿದಂತೆ ನಡಿ, ಇವರ ಕೆಲವು ತತ್ವಗಳು. ಮುಂದೆ ನೀವೇ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ ಹೌ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅಂತ. ಮೇಡಮ್ ಮುಂದೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
On behalf of SMCRI, now I would like to welcome our dynamic, charismatic Dr. Shalini ma'am. Our principal ma'am is a visionary leader who is committed to providing our students with the best possible education and ensuring their success in all aspects of life. She is an epitome of knowledge, talent and a complete circle as a woman by herself. Within her is the power to create, nurture and transform. Shalini ma'am is the best example for this. She's been awarded as the best top 30 teacher of the entire country. It gives me an immense pleasure to welcome our ma'am, and I'm certain that all the parents who are present over here are moved by her and definitely would like to make their children to be like her.
ಸ್ತುರದ್ರೂಪಿ, ಮಾತೃಸ್ವರೂಪಿ, ಅಸನ್ಮುಖಿ, ಸುಲಭ ಸಖಿ, ಮಹಾನ್ ವಾಗ್ಮಿ, ಆಲಿಸಿ ಧನ್ಯೋಸ್ಮಿ, ಅಪ್ರತಿಮ ಪ್ರತಿಭೆ, ಕಲಾ ವಲ್ಲಭೆ, ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಸ್ಫೂರ್ತಿ ಈ ಸೂಪರ್ 30 ನೀವೇ ನೋಡುವಂತಾಗಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದಿನ ಪ್ರಯಾಣದಲ್ಲಿ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
With immense admiration and affection, I would like to welcome our humble workaholic medical superintendent Dr. Niranjana Murthy sir, the Pitamaha of SMCRI, because you would see sir everywhere, all the nooks and corners of the college as well as the hospital. He knows each and every one of us, including teaching and non-teaching staff. He is one of the most dedicated staff and the person who works for SMCRI.
ಸದಾ ಸರಳ, ಇಂಥವರು ವಿರಳ, ಇವರ ತಾಳ್ಮೆ, ಕಾರ್ಯಸಿದ್ಧಿಯ ಜಾಣ್ಮೆ, ಮಾತಾಡದೆ ಬೈವ, ನಡೆದಾಡುವ ಜೀವ, ತಿಳಿದವರು ಇವರು ನೋಡೇ ಹೇಳಿರಬೇಕು, ಮಾತು ಮುತ್ತು ಮೌನ ಬಂಗಾರ.
My dear students and parents, studying in our institution is a pure joy. The professors, students and other staff members are an epitome of compassion, and we are quite sure you will be perplexed by the legacy.
ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರ ವೃಂದ ಹುಡುಕಿ ಆಯ್ದ ಅನುಭವಿಗಳ ತಂಡ, ಪಠ್ಯದ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಪಠ್ಯೇತರ ಬಂದ, ಬೆರೆಸಿ ಉಳಿಸುವವರು ಮನಕಾನಂದ.
It is my privilege to introduce you all to the preclinical faculty for this occasion. Let me start with the Department of Physiology. Anatomy? Okay. Let me start with the Department of Anatomy. Dr. Asha, she is the professor and HOD Department of Anatomy. She has 16 years of teaching experience. She has 31 publications to her credit which has been published in various national and international journals. She is the member of Medical Education Unit, Disciplinary Committee, Gender Harassment Committee, College Council Committee, and recently she has been awarded as the best teacher by IMA. And she's been awarded with the best paper presentation at National Conference of Basic Medical Sciences as well.
ಬೋಧನೆ ಇವರ ಶಕ್ತಿ, ವೃತ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿರುವರು ಆಸಕ್ತಿ, ಬಿಡಿಸಿ ಅಂಗಶಾಸ್ತ್ರದ ವಿಭಕ್ತಿ, ಪಡೆದರು ಉತ್ತಮ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ.
Dr. Archana BJ. Dr. Archana is professor in anatomy. She has 11 years of teaching experience and holds 10 publications in her credit. She is the mentorship coordinator at SMCRI, member of Anti-Ragging Committee, Gender Harassment Committee, Sports Committee. Apart from this, she is a well-trained Bharatanatyam dancer, and she is also a President Guide awardee. Dr. Vidya HK. She is professor in the Department of Anatomy. She has 10 years of teaching experience. She holds 7 publications into her credit and she is a member of curriculum committee as well. Dr. Tejaswari. She is associate professor in the Department of Anatomy. She has 13 years of teaching experience and she holds 7 publications in national journals, and apart from this she is a well-trained singer too. Dr. Shweta B, associate professor, Department of Anatomy. She has 8 years of experience and she holds 4 publications into her credit. Miss Sajini MT. She is tutor in the Department of Anatomy and she has 2.5 years of teaching experience. Mr. Muthukumar C, he is a tutor in the Department of Anatomy and he has 1.5 years of experience. I welcome you all. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Department of Anatomy. Moving on to the Department of Physiology. Department of Physiology is being headed by Dr. Shashiraj HK. He is professor and HOD and he has 16 years of teaching experience, holds 15 publications which is being published in various national and international journals. He is member secretary of College Council and member of Anti-Ragging Committee as well.
ಮಾತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ದೃಢತೆ, ಕೆಲಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಥಿರತೆ, ಅಧ್ಯಾಪನದಲ್ಲಿ ಭದ್ರತೆ, ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿಗಾಗದು ಯಾವ ಕೊರತೆ.
Dr. Ratna MD, she is professor in the Department of Physiology and she has more than 30 years of teaching experience and holds various publications into her credit. Dr. Shilpa M, she is professor in the Department of Physiology and has 13 years of teaching experience and holds 14 publications in various national and international journals. She is also an author for a textbook in competency-based question and answer in physiology. And she is in charge for Skill Lab as well. Dr. Arun Kumar HP is professor in the Department of Physiology. He has 10 years of teaching experience and holds 10 publications in various national and international journals and is also the member secretary for Anti-Ragging Committee. Last but not the least, from the department, Dr. Kavita BS. She is associate professor in the Department of Physiology. She has 13 years of teaching experience and holds 12 publications in various national and international journals. She is also a warden for Girls Hostel. She is member secretary of Gender Harassment Committee and member of Anti-Ragging Committee. I welcome you all, Department of Physiology, and thank you. Moving on to the Department of Biochemistry. Dr. Hamsa Veena, she is the professor and HOD in the Department of Biochemistry.
ಹಂಸದ ಬುದ್ಧಿಗೆ, ವೀಣೆಯ ವಿದ್ಯೆಗೆ, ಸದಾ ನಗುವ ಬಯಕೆ ಇವರ ಹೃದಯವಂತಿಕೆ. ಶಿಕ್ಷಣ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಇವರದೇ ಸಂಚಿಕೆ, ರಸಾಯನ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಅಪ್ರತಿಮ ಕಾಣಿಕೆ.
Madam has 17 years of teaching experience and she is the coordinator for Medical Education Unit. She has 13 publications in various national and international journals and she has presented various papers in various conferences as well. Dr. Raghunandana, professor in the Department of Biochemistry. He has 10 years of experience, has 14 publications in various national and international journals. He is also the warden for Boys Hostel. He is member of Anti-Ragging Committee as well. Dr. Lakshmi D, she is the associate professor in the Department of Biochemistry. She has 11 years of teaching experience. She is one of the best outgoing postgraduate students from MS Ramaya Medical College, Bangalore, and she has secured rank in various exams during her undergraduate curriculum. She has publications in various national and international journals. She has guided many students for ICMR projects as well. Dr. T. Krishnalata, Assistant Professor in the Department of Biochemistry. She has done her MSc from JIPMER Pondicherry and also has done PhD from the University of Delhi, and she has 44 years of teaching experience and 11 publications in her credit. Rekha BJ, she is tutor in the Department of Biochemistry. She has done MSc in Biomedical Biochemistry and she has 1.5 years of teaching experience. Last but not the least from the department, Nandini K. She is tutor in the Department of Biochemistry. She has done MSc in Biochemistry at JSS Medical College, Mysore, and she has 3 years of teaching experience. I welcome you all from the Department of Biochemistry and thank you. I'm sure that once you are a part of this family, you will contribute in this mission of Medi-Education along with service towards humanity, which is the motto of Siddhaganga Math as well. Best of luck, dear students, for your future endeavor, and thank you for being a patient audience and for hearing me. Enjoy the day.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಶುಭವಾಗಲಿ.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir, for your short and sweet request. Faculty of Community Medicine Department to please come on the stage. She is the professor and HOD, Department of Community Medicine. Dr. Lata ma'am, Associate Professor, Department of Community Medicine. Dr. Vidya ma'am, Associate Professor, Department of Community Medicine. Dr. Rajesh sir, Associate Professor in the Department of Community Medicine. Dr. Manas sir, Assistant Professor in the Department of Community Medicine. You have a family adoption program which starts with foundation course and first year. So you will be interacting with the staff of community medicine too. So you need to know the faculty of community medicine. So once you are in the campus, you need to know the facilities available at SMCRI. So now may I request Dr. Shashiraj, Professor and Head, Department of Physiology, to take us all to the virtual tour of SMCRI campus and brief the facilities available at SMCRI.
Good evening, everybody. Seeking the blessings of His Holiness Sri Shivakumara Mahaswamigalu and His Holiness Siddhaganga Mahaswamigalu. First, let me take this opportunity to congratulate each one of you and the proud parents who are here to see off their wards. A lot of people have spoken about the history of Siddhaganga Math. Siddhaganga Math is one of the renowned spiritual centers of the southern India, which has a history of 600 years, which was started by Sri Gosala Siddheshwara Shivayogigalu, based on the principles of Anna Basavana, a prominent saint of 12th century, that is Kayaka, Dasoha and Seva, which is nothing but service to mankind. And His Holiness Sri Shivakumara Mahashivayogigalu was initiated to the holy order by his guru Sri Uddana Shivayogigalu, and he became the president of the Math in the year 1941. And the legacy of serving the mankind is being carried forward by His Holiness Sri Siddhaganga Mahaswamigalu, who is the current head of the Math, which is one of the top colleges in the country, consistently ranked among the top 50 colleges according to NIF ratings. And though all the Math has been running all these institutions for a while, there was immense pressure from the public and well-wishers of the Math to start a medical college which was started for the academic year 22-23. I must say with great pride that out of many applications in the year 22-23, it is one of the only 2 colleges to get permission from the National Medical Council in the country. And now we have the second batch of students, that is 23-24 batch. This has been done already. Now we have the administrative support of the college, that is Parmesh sir. He is the director who has been a constant source of support to all of us. Dr. Shalini madam, who is always there, and I heard parents speaking about her, that she is there for every student to meet them and welcome on her own. And then we have Dr. Sachidanand sir, who brings with him a lot of experience of being an academician and an administrator, for him being the Vice Chancellor of the Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, and who is there to guide us. And Siddhganga Hospital, the building you see right behind you, was started in the year 2017. I must say with great pride, this is the first super speciality hospital to be started in the Tumkur district, with around 7 super speciality services. And then he has been introduced already. Dr. Niranjan Murthy sir is there to oversee all the activities of the medical hospital. And the hospital has excellent operation theatre facilities and high-tech laboratory facilities. And then I must say that it is one of the first hospital to have the distinction of getting the NABH accreditation and the Kayakalpa award, which is given for cleanliness by the Government of India. It is the first hospital in the Tumkur to bag this award. And to add to the super specialty hospital, which has 200 beds, this hospital B block was started with a bed strength of close to 300. Here people are given free treatment, and all the basic investigations are free, and very nominal charges are being charged for special investigations. This is one of the ward in the hospital. And then recently the C block was inaugurated by His Holiness Siddhganga Mahaswamigalu, which has a bed strength of 400 now, which makes the total bed strength of the hospital to 900 beds. When it comes to the infrastructure of the college, we have excellent classroom with high-tech, high-speed internet facilities, and we have well-equipped demonstration room where you have the options of live streaming, video classes can be shown to the students. And in library, we have around 3,700 books, 40 journals have been prescribed by the library, and then there are 50 digital options, that is, you have computers for e-learning, and you have this Helinet services, which is a huge database from the Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Center, which has been prescribed by the college, where students get to access around 2,000 e-books, around 600 journals, and there are 1,500 videos which can be seen by the students by utilizing the services provided by our library. And skill lab, as mandated by the National Medical Council, we have a very well equipped skill lab. Here you have this mannequins. Mannequins are like toys. Students can practice their skills before they can move on to the second year and start doing it on the patients. So we have excellent facilities for the students to practice their skills before they actually move on to second year and start seeing patients. And then medical education unit. If you don't know what exactly medical education unit is, medical education unit consists of faculty members who are well trained, and as ma'am was telling that we have a very distinguished faculty who have done advanced course in medical education. There are 8 people who are there part of this committee. It has 2 purposes. One is to keep the student afresh with the research developments in the medicine. Another one is to train our own faculty members. That is, teachers get trained in this medical education university to abreast their knowledge. Then the hostels, the one which you see right behind is the girls hostel, Neelaganga Girls Hostel. It has excellent facilities with good food and a mess. And then if you look beyond the parking, there is a huge structure which is coming up, a multi-story building, 9 or a 10-story building which is coming up, and it could be put to use in the coming few months. Probably when you guys enter the second year, you will be getting the facilities of the new hostel, which is a huge complex which is coming right behind this pandal or the parking lot area. Again, I take this opportunity to congratulate you all on behalf of our faculty members. I assure the parents who are here that we will try our level best to make your children the best of the doctors. Thank you.
Now that all of you have stepped into medical school, it is important for you to understand the components of curriculum. So now I would request Dr. Hamsavina, Professor and Head, Department of Biochemistry, to orient students and their parents to the curriculum.
Good afternoon to all parents and my dear students. My pranams to Guru Parampara of Siddhganga Math. I'll begin the orientation to curriculum. So the curriculum we are going to follow now, which we are following from 2019, is given by Graduate Medical Education Regulations, which was issued in the year 2019. There is recent modifications which have been brought to this, and this is called as Graduate Medical Education Regulations, or GMER 2023. Based on this, the curriculum is designed and it is called the competency-based medical education. So some of the doctor parents who are here, the curriculum is slightly different from what we had studied or what curriculum we had gone through. So I'll be just briefing it is mostly in the point of view of parents, I am going to orient this about the curriculum. For you students, we will be giving more details, because you need to know what you are going to study in more details. That will be done to you at a later date. So the graduate medical education curriculum is oriented towards training the students to undertake the responsibility of physician of first contact. What is this physician of first contact? He is the doctor who is in a remote, even if he is in a remote place, a single doctor should be able to cater to the needs of the community, the health needs he should be able to do, and he is not only curing the diseases, he is also looking into the preventive aspects, promotive aspects and rehabilitative aspects of medicine. The goal of this new curriculum or the undergraduate medical education program is to bring out an Indian medical graduate. In the morning program, Dr. Sachidanand was telling about this Indian medical graduate. Earlier, the students who were called as MBBS students are now addressed as Indian medical graduates. These Indian medical graduates, the goal is to prepare such an Indian medical graduate who will possess not only the knowledge about medical field, also the skills, the attitudes of a doctor, values and responsiveness, that is a communication aspect which is required for a doctor, and the Indian medical graduate will be going to be the physician of first contact. As I mentioned, he should be in a community, even if this doctor is a single doctor, he should be able to cater to the health needs of the community. That is not the end. They should be globally relevant also. That means they should be on par with any other medical graduate from any country or any part of the world. With that goal, we are going to train the students to become an Indian medical graduate. So the training period and time distribution is, the course is for 4.5 years, which will be divided into 9 semesters, which will be followed by 1 year of compulsory rotating internship. The first year, second year and the third year, part 1, will be for the duration of 12 months, that is 1 year duration. And the third year or the final year, part 2, will be for 18 months or 1.5 years duration. And in each year, that is in each academic year, there will be 39 weeks of the curriculum will be followed, and in each week 39 hours of curriculum will be taught. And in each day, minimum working hours will be 8 hours, including the lunch hour. So your college hours will be 8 to 4. 1 to 2 will be lunch. Your classes will be starting at 8 o'clock and you will be finishing by 4 o'clock. The academic calendar brought out by the NMC for the year 2023-24 batch. The first year will be from September 2023, which you have already started, to August 2024. This will include, you will be studying 3 subjects: anatomy, physiology, biochemistry. With this, there will be a foundation course. You are already going through the foundation course, and we are coming to the end of foundation course. With this 12 months will also include your examination, university examination, and also the result. That is, at the end of August 24, you would have finished your first year exam and you would have got your result. And from September 2024, you will be starting second year, which will go on till August 2025. During this, you will be studying pathology, microbiology, and pharmacology. And you will also be introduced to the clinical subjects, that is medicine, surgery, OBG. You will be having the postings of all this, and the exams will be conducted during that time. And then you will go to the third year, part 1, which will extend from September 2025 to August 2026, that is 1 year duration. During this time, you will be studying 2 subjects, forensic medicine and community medicine. And with this, again, you will be continuing the clinical postings of medicine, surgery, OBG, and you will also be having theory classes in all these clinical subjects. The fourth year or third, final year, part 2, will be for 1.5 years, that is September 2026 to February 2028. During this, you will be studying all the clinical subjects, that is ENT, ophthalmology, general medicine and allied subjects, surgery and allied subjects, OBG and pediatrics. You will be giving exams in all these 6 subjects at the end of 1.5 years. Then you will be having compulsory rotatory internship, which will start from March 2028 to students who have passed all the exams, and it will go on till February 2029. This will be according to the regulations again given by NMC, and it will be for the duration of 12 months. Regarding the next, we have not yet received the exact guidelines, so once it is issued, it will be communicated to you people. So what all you will be learning during this 4.5 years is, I will not go into the details of all the aspects you will learn when you come to those particular years. First, you are going to start with foundation course. The foundation course, this is for parents. Foundation course we are conducting now. Your wards must have already told that there are no classes going on, exact subjects are not being taught. This is a new curriculum which has been introduced in the recent guidelines. This is just to orient the students for the medical education, because learning in a medical school is totally different from what they have learnt all these years. So just to prepare them for the medical school, there is a period of this foundation course which will extend for almost 36 hours. It will be there, which will include all group activities, team building activities, just to orient them to work as a team. And many of them would be coming outside the house for the first time and staying in the hostel. So they would require some time to adjust to the new environment. For all this, this foundation course would be helpful, and they are better prepared, and they are learning the other values which are required by a doctor, like empathy, attitude, communication skills. So we are training them in all this so that they will be able to identify, imbibe and learn more about this once they go to the higher classes. And the curriculum will not be like, whenever we are teaching biochemistry, it will not just be biochemistry. We are going to integrate with other subjects, that is how it is related to what they have learnt in physiology or anatomy, or how it is related to medicine or surgery, what they are going to learn in the future. So that is how the teaching will go on, and the teaching methods will be more learner-centric. That means we are involving the students also in the teaching process. That is, it will be an interactive, there is something called as early clinical exposure. This is in the first year, that in the earlier curriculum, the students would go to hospital or get exposed to the patients only when they went to the second year. After they have passed their first year, they would be exposed to the clinical material or to the patients. In this early clinical exposure program, in the first year itself, we will be showing them some cases, introducing them to the hospital environment. Some doctors from the clinical side will come and talk to them. Whenever a relevant topic is being taught, for example, when they are doing the breast dissection, maybe a patient of breast carcinoma will be discussed to them. So they will know what they are learning now, how it will be useful to them later in the clinical subjects. Then they will also be trained in skill acquisition. We have a well-equipped skill lab that will facilitate this. They will be taken to the community by the community medicine department, where they will learn the community aspects of health and disease. And there is a program called as ADCOM, which will run from first year to final year. ADCOM means Attitude, Ethics and Communication. In this, the students will be trained and will be exposed to various other attributes a doctor should have, the attitude of a doctor, the ethical practice they should be doing once they go for the clinical practice, and the communication skills will be emphasized in this program. Then we have something called as electives, which will be there at the end of the third year, part 1. Here, the students will be asked to choose some subjects which they are interested, and they will be working in that department for a small period, for 15 days or 1 month. They will be working in the departments of their interest, so that this will facilitate them or will help them to choose the subject of their interest for post-graduation. Then the assessments are also not just like mugging up type of assessment. It will be not there like what you have done all these years. Just learn and mark the MCQs. The assessment will not be there. It will be a overall assessment, and you will be assessed throughout the year. Apart from this, as sir was mentioning about medical education unit, even the faculty are trained timely. Workshops will be conducted for the faculty so that they will learn whatever new curriculum changes are there, and they will be trained to adapt for this. This is one special program which has been introduced in the new curriculum, which is called as Family Adoption Program. It aims to provide an experiential learning opportunity to Indian medical graduate towards community-based healthcare and thereby enhance equity in health. So what happens in this family adoption program is, the students will be taken, one village has been identified, the students will be taken there, and each student will be allotted with 3 families. So these students will be interacting with those families. Maybe once in a month they will visit the village and they will be interacting with the families. They will know the health needs of that family, and whenever that family has some health requirement is there, they want to visit the hospital, the student will, the Indian medical graduate who has adopted that family will be guiding them with whatever medical help they require. By doing this, the students are getting exposed to what is the situation, health situation prevailing in the community, and what is their role, what they should be doing there. So this is what they will be doing. They will be visiting their houses, learning about their living condition, social condition, who all stays in their family. Now coming to the exam aspects, I want parents to please concentrate on this. The eligibility for your student to appear for the university examination will be 2 things they need to maintain. One is attendance and second one is internal assessment marks. In attendance, they should have 75% attendance in foundation course. Even though the foundation course, it will be, you are all understanding it as a bridge course. Don't think it is not important. It is important for them to develop as good doctors, and at the same time, with the requirement of university guidelines also, they need to maintain 75% attendance in that. And 75% attendance in theory and 80% attendance in practical classes is mandatory for them to take university examination. If they have attendance shortage, if it is less, the university will not allow them to take the exams, and we will not be able to help them in any way in that condition. And the subjects which are taught more than one phase, 75% attendance in theory and 80% attendance in practical in each phase. For example, community medicine, you are not taking exam this year, but you have classes of community medicine. You need to maintain 75% attendance in first year in community medicine, second year and third year when you take the exams. So you can't bunk those classes just because you are not taking the exam there. Coming to the internal assessment, in preclinical subject we are going to conduct 3 internal assessments. Apart from that, there will be periodic tests which will be conducted and the marks will be counted for the internal assessment. And for subjects conducted in more than one phase, the internal assessment will be there in each phase. That is, community medicine internals also will be there for you. Apart from 3 internals in anatomy, physiology and biochemistry, you need to score at least 50% marks in the internal assessment. When we take the average of all the 3 internals, you should be having 50% of attendance combined in theory and practicals. Then only you will be eligible to take the university exam. But your internal assessment marks will not help you to pass in the university exam. These marks will be reflected separately in your marks card, but that 50% is required for passing. Coming to the university exam pattern, there will be one university exam which will be conducted at the end of each academic year. You need to score at least 40% of marks in theory and practical separately, and put together theory and practical you need to have 50% marks. That means somebody scores 40% in theory, and if they don't score 60% in practical, they will fail, even though they have scored 40%. So 40% separately in theory and practicals, and together it should be 50%. If you have less in one subject, in theory, you should be able to make it up in practicals. And there is no odd batch like earlier. The supplementary exam, if suppose some student fails in the university examination, they will have a supplementary examination within 1.5 months after declaring the result. And if the student passes during that one supplementary exam, they can join their friends who have already passed in the first attempt. And this is very, very important. No more than 4 attempts shall be allowed for a candidate to pass the first professional examination. That means if a candidate does not clear first MBBS exam in 4 attempts, 1 regular exam, 1 supplementary exam, 2nd regular exam, 2nd supplementary exam, then the student has to leave the course. They will not be able to continue the course. And any learner shall not be entitled to graduate later than 10 years of his joining MBBS course. You have joined the course in 2023, so you should be leaving the medical college by 2033. If you don't finish all your exams by 2033, you will be going back without the degree. So, as I come to the end of this presentation, I want all of you to know medicine is more than a career. It is love for humanity. You need to stay focused and never give up. There are many situations where you feel like giving up, you feel you will not be able to continue or you can't do it, but stay focused and never give up. You will be able to do it. So, congratulations once again for choosing medical profession and starting your new journey, and best wishes for all your future endeavors. Thank you.
Siddhaganga Medical College prides itself for its high standards of discipline and code of conduct. Now may I request Dr. Asha, Professor and Head, Department of Anatomy, to delineate the rules and regulations of our institute.
Seeking the blessings of His Holiness, I would like to congratulate all the students and parents for choosing this noble profession in a prestigious medical institution. So motivation gets you started. You all were motivated and that's why you have taken up this MBBS course, okay? And what keeps you going? Discipline is one aspect which keeps you going. So medical education is such a program in which you will not only learn the required knowledge and skills, and also it's an experience which will create the attitudes and expectations in an individual. So to achieve these expectations, you should be well aware of what are the rules and regulations to be followed. So all the students shall abide by the rules and regulations instituted by our institution. And students are not allowed to leave the institution during the working hours, that is from 8 to 4. If they do so, they have to compulsorily take the written permission from the dean or principal. What is a code of conduct to be followed? Both within as well as outside the campus. So each student shall show due respect to the concerned administrators, faculty, non-teaching staff, patients, and also shall exhibit good behavior with their seniors and the fellow students. Seniors are very happy. There is no harm in calling them sir or ma'am. Okay? So, what are the classroom rules to be followed? So, apart from maintaining discipline in the classroom, you have to bring the necessary stationery to your class. Okay, suppose if a practical session is arranged, you have to bring all the required stationery, the logbook, record book, everything. And for the dissection hall, you have to bring the dissection kit, Cunningham manual, etc. Okay, apart from this, one more important aspect is mobiles are not allowed. Okay, suppose if a student accidentally or incidentally brings a mobile, what will happen? We perform Antya Kriya for that mobile. You all know Harishchandra Ghat, right? So we have a mobile ghat in our dissection hall. Okay, so this mobile ghat is filled with concentrated formalin. So after taking your SIM card, your mobile will be placed in that concentrated formalin solution. So any program needs the initiation and execution. We have initiated it for your senior batch and we are going to execute it for your batch. Okay? So next is punctuality. As you all know, punctuality is the hallmark of this Siddhganga institution. Okay? All the students are expected to be seated in their respective places at least 10 minutes before the beginning of the sessions, whether it is a lecture session or a practical session. And latecomers will not be entertained. Does the attendance matters? Yes, of course it matters, as told by Dr. Hamsaveena ma'am. So for every student, each day the attendance will be counted. A minimum of 80% attendance is a mandatory requirement to appear for university exam. And the daily attendance, whatever the daily attendance is there, it will be directly forwarded to your parents via SMS by a student software management. Okay? So your parents, though they are in a far off place, they will know whether you have attended the class or not attended the class. And then attendance of each student will be calculated at the end of every month. It is a prerequisite for mentor-mentee interaction and the same will be informed to the parents or guardians. Suppose if a valid medical certificate should be produced along with the requisition letter for leave from the parents. But remember, whatever the medical leave is there, it will not be considered for making up of the attendance. And regarding your exams, you will have series of formative assessments. You will have to return all the formative assessments, whether it is a written exam, practical exam or viva voce, and no malpractice is allowed in the examination hall. And very important thing, dress code. I think almost all of you are following the dress code by now. It has been told to you in the foundation course. Within the campus premises, you are supposed to wear clean white apron. I am emphasizing on that clean part. Okay, you will have to wash your apron periodically and wear it along with ID card. And outside the college campus, please do not wear the apron. Okay, this is to refrain from the other activities. For boys, what is the dress code? They have to wear a formal wear with the shirt neatly tucked in, and then formal shoes, well-groomed, trimmed hair, and clean shaven face, and trimmed and clean nails, because you will be dealing with the dissection, okay, dissection of the specimens. Suppose if you have not trimmed your nail, if you are doing a dissection of the brain, you will be literally eating someone's brain, okay. So that's why you will have to cut your nails and come. For girls, salwar kameez, okay. So kurti is not allowed, kurta, below knee length kurta is allowed, and ankle length bottom is allowed. Hair should be well groomed and properly tied up. It should be put inside the apron, and again nails should be trimmed and minimum accessories. When you enter the library, you have to follow certain library rules. Even in the library, the mobile is not allowed and only the formal dress code is there, and you will have to maintain all the library books properly. In general, what are the do's? What all you should do as a medical student? First and foremost, you should know that you have come here to study. Why you have to study? To save the life of a patient, okay? For that thing, you have to be a very good academic student first. And then, you can maximize your research experience in your medical journey. Apart from this, in the morning our principal ma'am was reading the annual report. In that you have seen that your seniors had gone to so many conferences, workshops, and they've got the best paper awards also. Okay, you are allowed to go to all those CME and conferences with the guidance from the excellent faculty, and then extracurricular is encouraged. Don't say no to drugs. It is an alcohol-free zone, remember that. And smoking is not allowed. And then eve teasing is definitely not allowed. Ragging is not there. Okay? Any person who tries to commit such mistake, disciplinary action shall be taken against them. And then even two-wheelers are not allowed for first years. And you have to maintain discipline while you are within the campus also. Please, when you are roaming in the campus, don't put on your earphones and all roam around here. Okay, even in the corridors, you are not supposed to use the mobile phones. And strict disciplinary action will be taken in case of violation of any of these rules. What are the responsibilities of the parents? So, if the parents wants to know the progress of their wards, you will be shared, the mentor-mentee list will be shared to you. Okay, you will get to know your mentor. They have to report to their mentor, and then they can also report to the HOD as well as the principal. And it is the responsibility of the parents. Okay, they have to ensure that their Children are attending the classes regularly, and if they are not attending, they have to intervene timely. And if the parents are summoned to discuss about the progress of their wards, they will have to come and report to the college without any delay. They will have to come and report immediately. So, which is the best way to predict future? You have to create an apt atmosphere which will predict your future. Thank you. All the best.
Beware students, we are taskmasters here. Hostel is a home away from home. You make friends, fight with them, read with them and make memories. To make hostel life more memorable and fun, at the same time maintain the decorum, few rules have been laid. Now I request Dr. Kavita, Associate Professor, Department of Physiology and Chief Warden, Nilaganga Girls Hostel to brief the rules of the hostel.
Good afternoon all. So, seeking the blessing of His Holiness, I congratulate all of you for getting admitted to the medical school. So, there are certain set of rules which you should abide when you are staying in the hostel. So, today I am going to briefly run through the rules and regulation of our hostel. So, first accommodation. Accommodation has already been provided to all the students on the first come, first serve basis. Coming to the rules of discipline, ragging in any form is strictly prohibited in our campus. So in case of any form of ragging, student can report or call to our toll-free number, that is 1800-425-2929. So Dr. Arun Kumar, who is the coordinator of the anti-ragging committee, will be speaking in detail regarding the anti-ragging measures which has been taken up by our institution after me. In addition to all those measures, in girls hostel, a resident warden, Miss Nandini, has been appointed. She'll be there in the hostel premises 24/7, and if at all if you face any kind of ragging, you can just report to her. So student should be decently dressed in the hostel premises, and students should give biometric attendance twice a day, which is kept in the hostel, and the main gates of the hostel shall be closed from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. of the next morning. So no night out permission will be given to any of the students for any reason. So once the rooms are allotted, changing or interchange of rooms shall be done only with the prior permission of the principal and the warden, and it is done only if the reason is valid. So students will be solely responsible for the possession of their valuables. So it is better advised not to keep any jewelry or any costly items in the rooms. So use of electrical appliances in the room is prohibited except your mobile phones, laptops and their charger. So maintenance of the furniture in the room is the responsibility of the inmates, and exchange of the furniture between the rooms is prohibited. Non-vegetarian food, alcohol and substance abuse is strictly prohibited in the hostel campus. So students shall not indulge in any form of political or communal activities which is detrimental to the law and order. So if at all if there is any damage to the shared property, so the fine will be imposed to all the students equally, and students' vehicles are prohibited in the hostel campus. Parents and visitors are allowed to meet their children only during the visiting hours. So the visiting hours on weekdays will be from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and on Sundays and public holidays it is from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Ragging is a punishable offence, and we at SMCRI will not tolerate even a minor act of ragging. Now I request Dr. Arun Kumar, Professor, Department of Physiology and Convener, Anti-Ragging Committee, to sensitize the students to what is ragging and the measures taken by our institute to curb ragging.
Thank you, madam. So good afternoon all. So seeking the blessings of His Holiness. So first of all, I want to welcome and congratulate all you people who have chosen our institute. Okay. So first of all, we know that the ragging is a menace to the society. So the statutory bodies like NMC, UGC and as well as our university, the RJHS, has taken certain measures to curb this menace. So what are the things that I am going to highlight in this session is mainly what constitute ragging and what about the punitive actions that we are going to take who will indulge in the ragging, and later we are going to also sensitize you what are the measures that are being taken by our institute to curb this menace. Okay, so what constitute ragging? Basically a person who are involved in teasing, treating or handling with rudeness, so who express indecent behavior and who makes an individual with a sense of shame, torment or embarrassment, and also preventing an individual disrupting or disturbing the regular academic activities and exploiting the services of a student for completing any academic task, say like writing the records and all those things is completely prohibited. So that also accounts for ragging. So any financial extortion or expenditure, forceful expenditure is also considered as ragging. So any physical or mental, sexual or verbal abuse, so it can be a spoken word, email, post, snail or mails, blocks is also accounts to ragging. And lastly, who will undermine the human dignity is also considered as ragging. So next, we have taken certain things which have been prescribed by NMC, so that we have constituted an anti-ragging committee in our college, so which constitute these many members who include the HODs of the first year departments, even the wardens and our principal who is the chairperson for this committee, and along with certain faculties from second year departments also, and even the student representation will be there in this committee along with one of the sub-inspector. And nature of the punitive actions which will be taken if a person is indulged in any form of ragging will be the suspension from attending any classes and academic activities, withholding or withdrawing any scholarship which we have already got or any fellowship, other benefits, and also debarring from appearing in any test, even it can be an internal assessment or a formative assessment, you will be debarred from that, and also other evaluation processes and also it might include even withholding the results of particular assessment. So even the suspension or expulsion from the hostel can be done, and imposition of fine up to 25 to 1 lakh, 25,000 to 1 lakh is there, and even a cancellation of admission. It all depends upon the nature of ragging that you people indulge. Okay, so before indulging in those acts, please think about these punitive actions that will be taken very, very strictly in our institute. So restitution from the medical college is also there, and even the admission to other institution will also be restricted. Okay, so for a specified period. So that last, we want to highlight what are the measures that we have taken. As madam had already told you, the warden madam, that we have a toll-free number which is displayed over there. So if you have seen any act of ragging in our campus, so you can call this number, toll-free number, any time. Okay, so we will be there for your help. So most of the time we will be avoiding the seniors from the juniors, but still if some people unknowingly get involved in this menace, please try to report it. Okay, and we also have, I think so most of you people now who are in the hostel have already met some of the faculties who are regularly visiting your hostel. So we have already constituted an anti-ragging squad which will be visiting the hostels, the respective hostels, both the girls hostel as well as the boys hostel, at a regular intervals. So every day there will be a visit from one of the faculty member, both girls hostel as well as the boys hostel. Okay, and we also have a hoarding, so which is displayed. Want you to be a fresher today and become a leader tomorrow. And thank you. So this is a hoarding that we have displayed all over the campus. So it will be remembering you not to indulge in any form of ragging. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Arun. Right mentor assists and guides students on professional front and also be a role model and support system for the mentee. Now I request Dr. Archana, Professor of Anatomy, to introduce our students to the amazing mentorship program that is running in our campus, SMCRI.
Thank you, Dr. Lakshmi. Seeking the blessings of the Guru Parampara of this institution, I congratulate the parents and the wards for having secured a medical seat in this esteemed institution. So we've been hearing what is this mentorship program since all the rules and regulations were being told to you. So what is this mentorship? So as you all know, all of you would have experienced some kind of mentor in your life. To begin with, you have your parents as your mentors who have taught you, and you are here because of them today. And you have your teachers, your friends, your neighbors, in some way, some of the other, they have been guiding you. So all of them are going to be or have been your mentors here. So at Siddhganga Medical College, we believe in nurturing you. You are all just like this small plants waiting to bud out and become huge trees who are going to provide a lot of service and shade to the community. So in this mentoring here, we believe in, we are going to be a support to you and encourage you to manage your own learning. So we are just going to give you a nudge in the right direction so that you will maximize your potential. So all of you, the fact that you're standing here, you're being part of this program today says that all of you have potential. So we are going to make you realize your maximum potential and hone your skills in the right direction and improve the performance so that you can become the person whom you dream to be. So that is what the mentorship program is all about at SMCRI. So what benefits do you think this mentorship program carries? It's a holistic program benefiting all of us, the mentees, that is you students, us mentors, and as the institution as a whole. The mentees will acquire new knowledge, ways of networking, socializing. You will develop the confidence to face the society and also get to know what is expected from you from the society. As mentors, we get an opportunity to share our rich knowledge and experience and also help you gain the social and professional recognition. And as the institution, to provide a very conducive environment for you to have an interaction, healthy interaction, not only with your staff, also with your students and seniors. So all this is going to be the benefits of mentoring. So how do we go about this mentoring program at SMCRI? So we're going to provide you a right direction. So we're going to interact with you, find out what your interests are, and based on that we shall provide you the appropriate training which is required for that. We shall provide you support not only in your academic difficulties, also if you have any personal issues, you can definitely talk to your mentors regarding the same, and all kind of support will be provided for you here at SMCRI. The motivation required for you, this is a tough course, one of the toughest professional courses we have. You require constant motivation being far away from home. We help you realize your goals and ultimately be a successful doctor. This is how we mentor here at SMCRI. The mentorship program at SMCRI is aptly put by the greatest mentor anybody could have, Lord Shri Krishna. Karmanyavadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. So it was his direction to Arjuna to do his deeds the best way, and the success shall follow for you. So the mentorship committee here consists of all the faculty across all the various phases. The mentee shall be allotted phase-wise, and there shall be a mentor-mentee meeting every month, and for the first year students it will be the first Saturday of every month. They shall be interacting with their mentors on an individual basis. The mentor-mentee list has been already posted in the student group. The parents can also interact with the mentors. And And once this is done, phase-wise, there will be an interdepartmental meeting so that the individual mentees' difficulties, be it academic or personal, shall be discussed, and whatever is the issues shall be handled immediately. And this shall be done at the level of the head of the departments and the dean ma'am also, so that any general issues faced with students as a whole will be immediately addressed to. So how do we go about it? All of you, definitely you need a push. So we are going to push you in the right direction. Okay, you're all just very comfortable right now having got into MBBS. That itself is an achievement, but we're going to push it. Take it from me, it's not going to be a straight line. It's going to be a long, winding path. You need to keep your focus all throughout this course here. We are going to definitely test you. It's not going to be so easy. We're not going to put a red carpet for you or a bed of flowers. It's not going to be that. Parents also, please bear that in mind. But whatever said and done, please remember, we always have got your back. All the mentees have the support of your mentors so that you can bud into a beautiful flower. So what should you be doing as students? All the meetings you need to compulsorily attend. Be punctual to the meeting. And if you're not supposed to be absent to the meetings, if you have to do so for some unavoidable circumstances, you have to take the prior permission. And you can contact your mentee at any time during the working hours, after working hours, in case of emergency only. And in case there's any issues regarding to the hostel or ragging, please bring it to the notice of the concerned authorities first. If you feel comfortable talking to your mentor instead, you can definitely approach them. So what you need to do, you should be open to the mentor-mentee meeting first. Set your goals when you come to talk to your mentors. Open up, talk to them freely, whatever is regarding your problems. Main thing here is you should take responsibility for your own learning. We can just act as guiding factors. You need to be responsible for your own work. Heed the mentor's experience and advice. Develop trust with them. All things which are shared with the mentors will be confidential and will be shared only with the concerned authorities after the consent of the mentees and their parents. Most important thing now, role of parents. What is the role of parents? Phone madbittu madve ide, paksha ide, function ide, birthday celebrate ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಇದೊಂದೇ ಸರಿ ಕಳಿಸ್ಕೊಡಿ PCT last time ಬರ್ದಿದ್ರು ಈ ಸತಿ ಬರಿದಿದ್ರೆ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ it's okay. No, it's not okay. And when you call them, just don't ask them ಊಟ ತಿಂದ್ಯಾ ತಿಂದಿಲ್ಲ. One small accountability matters. Okay, so just ask them with how the classes are going on, and please keep everything in moderation. ನೀವು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಸೇರಿಸಿರೋದೇ the biggest gift you have given them. So please, pocket monies ಎಲ್ಲ moderation, tie their pockets, tie your pockets also. So you are the most important part of the jigsaw puzzle. Teacher, student, college, everything matters definitely, but your involvement, they are here, you're waiting to see them on this stage at a later date. So for that, you need to be partners with us so that we can give you back a successful child. So remember, this struggle, this hard path is required so that they can shine like diamonds. We have seen one of the best example of such a diamond today as our chief guest, Dr. Palnivel. He himself told that one of his teachers told him that this is the time to study, not any other extracurricular activity. So you have to set them along that path, make them shine like a diamond. It's in your and our hands. You have made that partnership by admitting your wards to this institution. So let us take this forward. As Winston Churchill has told, we make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. So we at SMCRI are ready to give all that we have to make our mentees the most successful in this profession. Thank you.
Lunch
too many sessions, too many rules, regulations, curriculum. So now it's the time for the most awaited moment, white coat ceremony. But before donning aprons, I now request Dr. Shilpa, Professor of Physiology, to brief the significance of white coat, do's and don'ts of apron to maintain the sanctity of the profession.
Thank you, Dr. Lakshmi. With sincere pranams to His Holiness, dear students, we are here at the most awaited, auspicious moment of your career life, a pride moment to the proud parents, the white coat ceremony. I would like to congratulate each one of you for arriving at this milestone in your career. You have no doubt worked hard to achieve your goal of entering into the medical course. As each of you walk across this stage today to receive your white coat, your journey in medicine will begin. In the words of Sir William Osler, the practice of medicine is an art, not a trade, a calling, not a business. The white coat ceremony is an iconic ritual that emphasizes compassionate, collaborative, scientifically excellent care from the very first day of training in the healthcare profession. The white coat ceremony was first introduced by Dr. Arnold P. Gold in 1993. The white coat symbolizes the virtues of altruism, responsibility, duty, honor, respect, and compassion towards the patient care. With the pride on your shoulders, you need to know some of the do's and don'ts with your apron, the white coat. You are supposed to wear the white coat at all times inside the campus during your working hours. It is compulsory for the practical sessions, during your clinical postings, and whenever you are inside the campus. You are supposed to keep your apron clean, tidy, and neatly pressed. You are not supposed to wear the apron or the white coat outside the campus. You are not supposed to wear the white coat when you are not on duty or other than the college hours. With this, knowing the importance of white coat do's and don'ts, we shall now move on to the white coat ceremony. Thank you.
Awaited part for both parents and students donning the apron for the first time. As been instructed in the classroom, I'll be calling out the names of the students. You will be coming in order and you will be standing to the left of the faculty, one step ahead of the faculty. Is that clear? The faculty will be standing here, all the students will be coming and standing one step ahead of the faculty. And I'll be giving continuous instructions for both the faculty and students, so please follow the instructions. Dr. Asha, Dr. Shashiraj, Dr. Renu, Dr. Shweta, Dr. Sridhar, Dr. Priyadarshini Bai, to please come on the dais. Dr. Hamsavina, Dr. Asha, Dr. Shashiraj, Dr. Renu, Dr. Shweta, Dr. Sridhar, and Dr. Priyadarshini Bai. Abhishek Mahesh, Adarsha, Aditi Chikatur, Afifa Iqbal. First 7 students. Please stand to the left of the faculty, one step ahead. Please maintain utmost silence and discipline. One step ahead of the faculty. Please hand over your aprons to the faculty. I request faculties to please help donning the aprons to the students. Button your aprons properly. Make sure you button it properly. Once you have buttoned it, go back, stand in line with the faculty, go back one step, pose for the photograph, and you will be getting down from the left hand side of the dais. While getting down, please collect the Charak Shapath. Please, while getting down, collect the Charak Shapath and please be seated in your respective places. The next batch of students, Akanksha Jha, Akash, Akash M, Akhilesh, Alankriti Saha, Amulya Shekhar, Ananya. Akanksha, Akash, Akhilesh Gowda, Alankriti Saha, Amulya Shekhar, Ananya. Please stand one step ahead of the faculty. Hand over your aprons to the faculty. Button your aprons completely, properly. Once you have buttoned, go back, stand in line with the faculty. Pose. While getting down, please collect the Charak Shapath and please be seated in your respective position. Next batch. Anika Agarwal, Anup, Anshuman Pandey, Ashmita Bhatt, Ashwini, Bahubali Baramappa and Barira. Please collect your Charak Shapath and please be seated in your respective position. Stand one step ahead to the left of the faculty. Hand over your aprons to the faculty. Wear it completely, button it properly. Ma'am, all aprons, sorry. Buttons. Ashwini, button your aprons. Make sure the collars are rightly placed, buttons are properly done. Please get down from the left hand side and while getting down, collect the Charak Shapath. Next, Barkha Kumari, Basavraj Natikar, Bharat Kumar, Bodhita, Bhumika Tripathi, Apurva Shetty, Vinay Kamath. Barkha Kumari, Basavraj, Bharat Kumar, Bodhita, Bhumika, Apurva and Vinay Kamath. Please hand over your aprons to the faculty. Buttons, make sure you button it properly. Once you have buttoned it, get back in line, stand in line with the faculty. Chaitra R, Chandana Sulake, Chetana SK, Chetna Joshi, Chinmayi and Deepak. Ido last. Please hand over your aprons to the faculty. Once you have done with buttoning, please stand in the line with faculty. While getting down, collect your Charak Shapath. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. I now call upon the next batch of faculty, Dr. Archana ma'am, Dr. Vidya ma'am, Dr. Shweta ma'am, Dr. Raghunandan sir, Dr. Krishnalata ma'am, Dr. Kavita, Dr. Arun, Dr. Archana, Dr. Vidya, Dr. Shweta, Dr. Raghunandana, Dr. Krishnalata, Dr. Kavita, Dr. Arun. The next students, Dhanraj, Dhanush, Deepanshu Singh, Ishwari, Parnika, Mahantesh, Guru Prasad. Dhanraj, Dhanush, Deepanshu, Ishwari, Parnika, Mahantesh and Guru Prasad. Prerna. Prerna. Please hand over your aprons to the faculty. Once you have done, please go back, one step back, stand in line with the faculty, get closer. While getting down, collect the Charak Shapath. Gauramma Mahantesh, Harshita Gowda, Harshita GR, Ashmat Afri, Ridya Ramakrishna, Inchara, Zafar Ullah Sharif. Please hand over your aprons to the faculty. Button your aprons properly. Once you have buttoned, get back, stand in line with the faculty. The next batch of students, Jeevan P, Jastit, Anusha, Deepika, Gagan, Karan, Kavya. Jeevan, Jastit, Anusha, Deepika, Gagan, Karan, Kavya. Please hand over your faculty to the aprons to the faculty. Button it properly. Once done, get back, stand in line with the faculty. Collect your Charak Shapath. I request all the audience to please applaud the students. It's a proud moment for both parents and the students. So please applaud. The next batch, Kirti, Kyatik Saini, Krutika, Kushala, Lakshya Tyagi, Lakshmi BS, Lavanya E. Kirti, Saini, Krutika, Kushal, Lakshya Tyagi, Lakshmi BS and Lavanya E. Please give a big round of applause for the students. They have really worked hard to come here. Please hand over your aprons. I request all the audience to applaud the students. Stand in line with the faculty. Collect your Charak Shapath and please be seated in your respective positions. The next batch, Kanika, Mahantesh Nagappa, Mahima, Manasa, Manini, Manoj, Mayank. Kanika, Mahantesh Nagappa, Mahima, Manasa, Manini, Manoj, Mayank. Please hand over your aprons. Stand in line with the faculty. Please collect your Charak Shapath while getting down and be seated in your respective places. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Now I request Dr. Shilpa, Physiology, Dr. Usha, Dr. Vidya, Dr. Rajesh, Dr. Lata, Dr. Manasa and Dr. Kiran. Dr. Shilpa, Dr. Usha, Dr. Vidya, Dr. Rajesh, Dr. Lata, Dr. Manasa, Dr. Rashmi. The next set of students, Meghraj, Mohammad Abdul Samad, Mohammad Ahmad, Napita, Navya Sharma, Netravati, Nimita. Meghraj, Abdul Samad, Mohammad Ahmad, Napita, Navya Sharma, Netravati, Nimita. Please hand over your aprons to the faculty. Mohammad Ahmed, collar. Get back in line with the faculty. Collect your Charak Shapath and please be seated in your respective position. Nisarga, Nitesh, Nitish Kumar, Osama Khan, Parvati Basappa, Purvika, Pradyumna. Nisarga, Nitesh Yadav, Nitish Kumar Nayak, Osama Khan, Parvati Basappa, Purvika, Pradyumna. Please hand over your aprons to the faculty. Button your aprons completely. Once it's buttoned, get back, stand in line with the faculty. Next batch of students, Prajwal, Pranil Shivanand, Pratik Kulgeri, Priyanshi, Purvi Shankar, R. Chirant, Rachana MN. Please hand over your aprons to the faculty. Button your aprons, get back in line with the faculty. Rahul, Rajeshri Shail Biradar, Raksha, Rakshita Mughali, Ramya, Risha Nitin, Rituraj. Please hand over your aprons to the faculty. Once button, get back, stand in line with the faculty. Get back one step. Please, a big round of applause for all the students. I request all the audience to applaud the students for their achievements and the most proud moment. You will be exiting from the left hand of the dais. Collect the Charak Shapath. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Kiran, Dr. Vijay, Dr. Prashant, Dr. Indushri, Dr. Pradeep Kumar, Dr. Pradeepa and Dr. Navya. Dr. Kiran, Dr. Vijay, Dr. Prashant, Dr. Indushri, Dr. Pradeep Kumar, Dr. Pradeepa, Dr. Navya. Okay. Next set of students, SD Patil, Sadhvi Gowda, Sai Darshan, Sanjit DS, Sanket, Sayoni Sahu, Shirish. SD Patil, Sadhvi, Sai Darshan, Sanjit DS, Sanket, Sayoni Sahu and Shirish. Please hand over your aprons to the faculty. Once button, please get back, stand in line with the faculty. The next set of students, Shamant, Sharanya, Shashank, Shraddha, Shrestha, Shreya, Shubham Singhal. Shamant, Sharanya, Shashank, Shraddha, Shrestha, Shreya, Shubham Singhal. Please stand one step ahead. Hand over your aprons to the faculty. Snehashri, Sonika Gupta, Saundarya, Sukruta, Sumaya, Sunayana, Suyash Gopal. Snehashri, Sonika Gupta, Saundarya, Sukruta, Sumaya, Sunayana, Suyash Gopal. Please hand over your aprons to the faculty. Button your aprons. Once button, please get back, stand in line with the faculty. While getting down, collect the Charak Shapath. Swati, Syed Fardeen, Syed Nauman, Tashin Zareen, Tanishq Arora, Tanushri, Tejaswini. The next set of students, Swati, Syed Fardeen, Syed Nauman, Tashin Zareen, Tanishq Arora, Tanushri and Tejaswini. Please hand over your aprons to the faculty. Button your aprons completely and properly. collect your Charak Shapat. Please get down from the left hand of the dais. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
I now invite on stage the next set of faculty, Dr. Lakshmi, Dr. Lalita, Dr. Amisha Reddy, Dr. Rajni, Dr. Manasri, Dr. Monica, Dr. Rajata, and Dr. Madhu. Dr. Lakshmi, Dr. Lalita, Dr. Amisha Reddy, Dr. Rajni, Dr. Manasri, Dr. Monica, Dr. Rajata, and Dr. Madhu. Request the students to come on stage. Ullas, Umme Nurian, Chandas Gowda, Vaishnavi, Vaishnavi S, Varsha GR, Varsha K, and Varshini J. Stand to the left of the faculty. Varshini J. Hand over apron to the faculty. Request the faculty to help the students don the apron. Button your aprons. Stand a step back along with the faculty for the photograph. Huge round of applause, please. Thank you. You can leave the stage from the left hand side. Collect your Charak Shapats as you leave and get back to your places. Next set of students, Vasudeva Murthy, Vasundhara, Viha Vinay, Vijay Kumar, Vijay Lakshmi M. Patil, Vijay Lakshmi, Vijeta Nagaraj, and Vinay Kumar Bansal. Stand to the left of the faculty. Hand over your aprons to the faculty. Button your aprons. Here, button your apron properly. Step back and stand in line with the faculty for the photograph. Now we have the last set of students, Vishesh S, Vismita C, Vivek S, Yashwant P, Yashvardhan, Yashas, Yukta, and Yuvaraju. Stand to the left of the faculty. Hand over your aprons to the faculty. Request the faculty to help the student don the apron. Button your apron. Stand a step back in line with the faculty for the photograph. Thank you. Collect the Charak Shapat from the left hand side of the stage. Get back to your places. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Over to Lakshmi.
I thank all the faculty and the students for maintaining the utmost discipline and silence. Now I request Dr. Sharath Kumar, the Chief Cardiologist, Siddhganga Medical College and Research Institute, to administer the Charak Shapath. He will be giving instructions to all the students.
Good afternoon, everyone. I thank SMCRA management and principal ma'am for giving me this opportunity to administer Charak Shapath to all of you. I request all the first year students to please stand in their respective places. So I request all of you to place your right arm in front of you and keep your Shapath on the left hand. So you please follow me, whatever I am telling you, just repeat it. All of you ready? Yes. During the period of study, I shall live a disciplined life with my teachers and peers. My action shall be guarded, service-oriented, and free from indiscipline and envy. In my dealings, I shall be patient, obedient, humble. Constantly contemplative and calm. I shall aim my full efforts and ability towards the desired goal of my profession. As a physician, I shall always use my knowledge for welfare of mankind. I shall always be ready to serve patients even if I am extremely busy and tired. I shall not harm any patient for sake of monetary or selfish gains. Nor shall I entertain a desire for lust, greed, or wealth. Immorality shall not emerge even in my thoughts. I shall treat patient of gender other than mine in presence of relatives or attendants. When examining a patient, my discretion, attention, and senses shall be concentrated on the cure of the disease. I shall not divulge the confidentiality related to the patient or family inappropriately. My dressing shall be decent yet impressive and inspiring confidence. My conduct shall always be appropriate, pleasant, truthful, beneficial and polite. I shall use my experience in actions appropriate for the time and place. I shall constantly endeavor to accomplish with the latest developments in the field and widen my knowledge. Although an authority, I shall not display my knowledge and skill with arrogance. Thank you. Please be seated. So I wish you all the best for your professional career. Good luck.
So we could not delay anymore. and that is how we have started. Maybe I did not answer you in that mail, I am answering you now. So we were 13 days late, however, we have done it. Few things for the parents you have already heard, do's and don'ts for your wards. One important thing is whether they are very religious or atheist or whatever, please ask your children not to make fun of others, and the children who will follow their rituals and this thing, ask them to continue it. And next important thing, I think the students would be happy as it's a weekend, it's Friday and you have been here the whole day long, maybe you can take off tomorrow.
Sure.
Happy? Okay. Well, if at all you have any queries, you can ask us. Another 5 minutes to go. We are supposed to wind off at 4 o'clock. If at all you have any queries, please do ask us. Not the students, only the parents. Anything? To Mahesh Krishnan can answer. Anything? No? Okay. Then Lakshmi, they're done. They don't have any questions to be asked. I think please do have tea, and maybe you can spend some time with your children. You can visit our Siddhaganga Mutt. You can go around. There are many places to see around Tumkur. You can go see the places tomorrow and day after. And from Monday, the regular classes are going to start. And regarding you had queries about the books and this thing, a books exhibition will be arranged here in our college only. Maybe they can buy the books later. Bone sets have been ordered already. They will be getting them. Anything, you have the mentors list. You can contact them directly. Nothing more. We take leave, and thank you so much for bearing with us. Thanks once again being part of Siddhaganga family. Thank you.